back to Stitching Big Things with Hallie. I'm Hallie. Thanks so much for joining me again today. Today is Friday, March 5th. Happy March, everybody. We've made it. Yay. Last time I was with you was 2 weeks ago. Sorry about that. We were still kind of wrapping up our week of snowpocalypse, as we like to refer to it here in Texas. And last week became very, very busy. All those things that had been shut down and postponed from the week that we were off all got moved to last week. And as a result, last week was super, super busy. We had 4 basketball games in 4 nights, and some of those required us to travel to Dallas. We had hair appointments and doctor's visits and orthodontists and the whole gamut. So it was a super busy week. Not a lot of stitching happened in any kind of consistent way. And I just decided, let's hold on. Let's give myself another week and then we'll have a little more to show. So thank you so much. If you are a returning viewer and you're back with me again today, I appreciate all of you spending your time with me. Thank you so much. And for those of you who checked on me and were like, hey, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. Is everything okay? We're great. Thank you so much. That makes me feel good. So if you're new, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch. Hopefully you will see some good projects today. There'll be a little bit of a variety today. Some good haul, a little bit. I've got 2 weeks worth of haul, so there's some things that have come, and I have a little piece of advice that I'm going to offer up too if you are doing a particular project. So let's go ahead and get started. Last time we talked, and remember, this covers 2 months. So for those of you who haven't been with me, I am a member of the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. I do a lot of full coverage projects, and I do a lot of non-full coverage projects. But to help me, encourage me, and push those full coverage projects along the way, I do like to participate in the Full Coverage Fanatics Bookshelf Challenge. And last month was a particularly large month. And last time we met, I had not finished it, but I was working to complete all of the books. The only one I had left, well, I had 2 left. The one was Outlander. I was using this project, Mistletoe, the Broken Star Collection by Carolyn Manning Designs. This is what I was using to finish the Outlander book. That particular challenge was 8,500 stitches. And I had a little bit more to do. And I was able to complete that. I finished, I had 1,807 stitches left, which this side has been completed. It's all good to go. This is the side I was working on. I spent a lot of time adding in more stitches over here. So I got in that extra 1,800 stitches. That completed that, and I wrapped that up. Because it's been 2 weeks, we then got into March. For the March Bookshelf Challenge, I have assigned this project to the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code, I'm looking at my notes, that's why I keep looking down so I get the numbers right. Da Vinci Code's got almost 4,900 stitches that are required. So it was time to get back into this now that we're a few days into March. I picked it up later last night, probably with an hour or 2 to go. This, as you guys remember, if you're first joining me, this is a super quick stitch. As you can see, once you kind of get this framework in here, super, super fast. You can just hit and miss. I use Pattern Keeper on this, so it's super easy to find where I'm going. For reference, this is the center point. So I think last night I was like 62% completed. So that's great. I did add in an extra 544 stitches last night, and most of those were down here in this corner. I added some more of the reds along here on the bottom. And then I started up here and the top with the white. As you can see, my needle and my thread are still here. And because I only got so far, I need to finish the white on this side. So that's where I will continue. There's a few more colors on this side, and then we will be ready to move everything down and get that bottom going. So this is definitely going to be a finish this year. I'm going to keep pushing and using those bookshelf challenges to make sure I get this done. So after I completed February's Outlander book, I had to complete Like Water for Chocolate. Yes, Like Water for Chocolate. And I was using my Heaven and Earth Red Maple Fairy. This is charted by HAED, artwork by Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and I was struggling with her. I think I talked about it last week. Let me take out my thread. This is how I keep track of what thread I'm using. I just tuck it in here. When you've got, 90 threads, it's good to keep track of what you are using. Oh, and I've got a little hangy here. Let me tuck him in. So anyway, as I was saying, I was struggling with her because I was just down to like a few of these little ninja stitches. As you can see, there's a few. And what I was trying to do was I was trying to get basically this half done so that I could come back up and move the Q-snap and come back up and start back up here. Because there's a whole bunch in here that's got just background above her head. And really kind of the top of her head. So that's what I've been working on, is these ninja stitches, and they were kind of driving me nuts. So I was trying to figure out, how can I do this that it's not going to drive me nuts? And I started a process that I've heard others talking about, but I never heard maybe the reason why they were doing it, or for me, it worked great. What I started doing was, instead of, before I got introduced to Flosstube, I was very much a monogamous stitcher. One project, get it done. Even if it was a big one, I would just keep working on it. And that was what I did. I loved, because then I would take breaks, and when I didn't want to stitch, I would read or do other things. What I loved about when I got introduced to Flosstube and figured out that I could do more than one project at a time, hello, amazing. I found out that I loved to jump around and to go to different projects because it kept my interest. My boredom that I got with one project always got subsided because I could go to something else. So I was kind of like I work on a project, I work on it mostly the whole day. Like unless I get to a stopping point or I reach a completion on a goal, I keep working. And I just work on the same thing. And this was not working for me that way. So what I started doing was in my mind, okay, 200 stitches. 200 stitches took a long time. 200 stitches in this background is nothing. It's going to take me maybe an hour. I mean, it's super fast. I'm a pretty quick stitcher and super, super fast. But in these little ninja stitches where it was like 5 stitches, change the color, 5 stitches, change the color, 2 stitches over here, it took me forever. So I was really struggling with this. So I decided 200 stitches. I'm going to do my 200 stitches and I'm going to start working my way. I'm going to start, just whatever's next. I'm not going to jump around. I'm not going to come over here and work on her eye. I'm just going to keep going through here. If the color is over here, of course I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to methodically work my way down. And 200 stitches. You guys, I would get 200 stitches done and I'd be like, well, maybe I'll do a little bit more. I'd do a little bit more. And then I would switch. And then the next day I did the same thing. And before I knew it, I had my goal completed on this project. I had the goal for the February challenge, like Water for Chocolate, was 2,220 stitches. I still had 1,100 to go. 1,106 to go is what I ended up putting into this. And I ended up getting it in small chunks, just a few at a time. If you have not tried that, if you're struggling with a piece, I recommend that you try that. I was shocked at how much easier it made it made the struggle go, because I was thinking about what else I was going to work on, and before I knew it, those 200 stitches were done. And I just, okay, then the next day I did 200 stitches, then the next day I did 200 stitches. Before I knew it, I had my 1100 stitches done. It was super great. So give it a try if you've never done that and you're really struggling with a piece. Small chunks, just, you know, a few stitches. I've heard people say a thread, and I was like, a thread? Why would you just do one thread? I'm like, that seems like a waste of time. Like, I gotta get the project out, and I gotta put the project away, and then I gotta find another project. Honestly, give it a try. It worked great for me. It's not going to be how I normally do things, but when I get into a struggle and the struggle bus and I are there, I'm going to continue to do it that way. So little tip there. So anyway, so I was able to complete all of my February challenges. It was 12,000 stitches, full coverage stitches. I was able to get them all done on all my projects. Super, super happy. Really happy about that. I did not get my 21 and 21 goal completed, but I'm going to catch that up this month. So it'll be no problem. Not that far behind. Okay, I'd had enough full coverage stitching at that point. I needed a little break. So I picked up my Prairie Moon. Thine is the trick and the treat. Oh, let me tell you about this one, and then I'll go back and give you all the details. I forgot the details. You guys, I forget the details. I need a little post-it note that says, tell me the details. Okay, Prairie Moon, thine is the trick and the treat. Becca over at Sambry Stitches and I are stitching this. We did a little stitch along together. I knew she wanted to stitch it, and I was excited to stitch it as well. So we are doing it together. And this, I am stitching on 28 count Gladiolus from Fortnite Fabrics. Yeah, if I get it back here, you can see it's kind of this color up here. This is kind of blowing out. Maybe if I put something behind it, that'll help. Yeah, it's a real rich orange. It does have some lighter spots in it, so it reminds me of the Dreamsicle popsicles that we had as kids. When I see this, that's what I think of. So what I got done this time, I had the framework of this piece and this piece. I added in this. I added in all the spiders in the middle part. I had like the back outline of the witch to about here, from her hat to this corner. I just had the outline, and I probably had half of the circle. I finished the witch, added in these little pieces, added in these, obviously finished the circle around, did this little guy down here. I love him. Guys, he is so cute. Love him. He was so fun to stitch. Then I decided that pretty much finished that page, that first page. And that now I'm working to finish, I'm almost finished with page 2 actually too. Working across here. This is kind of this bigger guy here. I don't know what he is. I think he's meant to be like a spooky ghoul of some sorts that's kind of upside down, kind of like the bat. Sorry, wrong direction. So I've got half of him in, so that's as far as I got with that. But so super happy. Got quite a few stitches, about 1,400 stitches on this guy. And so that was nice. And it was fun just to have one color, 28 count Gladiolus, 2/2. So that's my go-to. It's my favorite way to do it. And I feel like I'm getting good coverage with the black. I know black is not everybody's favorite, neither is white, but for that particular one, it's really good. I think I mentioned Becca and I are doing a stitch along. We have a hashtag if you want to join us. It's the Prairie Moon Sal. You can do any Prairie Moon to join in with us. We are not specific to thine is trick and the treat. If you are doing that, by all means, tag it. We would love to see your progress. But if you're interested in how Becca and I are doing, she's doing a totally different, gorgeous, blue, purpley fabric with the black. So totally different, but super fun. So after that, I decided and I was kind of feeling like the winter. So, and I love this project. So I thought, sorry if you guys just heard that, that's the, sitting right here is a printer, and the printer just, you know, every now and then it kind of does its own thing. So this is Winter Snowfall. This is a Shannon Christine design. There are probably 8 that different colorways that she gives. This one, it kind of looks blue. It's tealy is the color that I'm doing, the 2 teals. I really have been enjoying this. I am stitching this on 28 count. I'm gonna pull this up so you can see it. On 28 count sterling from Picture This Plus. And it's gorgeous. I am in love with it. Super fun. I am stitching this 2 over 2, just getting that top border in. There are a lot of beads in this, and there's a lot of Krynic. And like I said, actually the tealy colors are these kind of darky teal colors, so they're gonna just pop on this color. So I can't wait to get to them. But again, I just needed single color after all of that. Those little ninja stitches, I just needed to be able to, you know, lace up a needle and get some stitches in. So I think for this one, I got about almost 1,200 stitches in on this. I think I was probably about right here. I'd really just gotten a small start. So we got in there quite a bit. And this is the one that I wanted to offer a piece of advice because I was struggling with it. This particular pattern you can use in Pattern Keeper. And I'm gonna show you real quick. I'm gonna pull up. This is my, my device that I use. I'm an Apple person, but I knew I needed Pattern Keeper because I could not search through pages of little, if you can do that, you are a superstar. I could not do that. When Pattern Keeper came out and I saw how easy it was, I knew I needed to have it. So I bought this. This is a Fire 10. It's fairly small, but it works great. I can blow things up really, really big. I can shrink it back down, all of that. So I had loaded this in and I had started. These stitches are white. They're B5200. And I'm gonna zoom out so you can see. When I zoom out way, 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 you can see. So originally, when I first put this in, this is all zoomed out and it shows you what you have stitched. Originally, you can see my colors that I have over here. I was doing I was doing the X's in white. Well, when I stitched them, and I'm going to show you this highlighted. I'm just going to show you a minor piece so you won't be able to see anything. But when I would blow it up to highlight it, initially when I first downloaded it, these would be white. And I couldn't, once I stitched them, they disappeared. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? These that are gray here or light blue, that it looks light blue to you guys, they were white. And the background is white, as you can see. And I'm like, how am I gonna know? I'd like to look at the stitch I have on my thing and then count and then go up one. And you know, I use what's already on my fabric as well as the grid. And I was really struggling because it just disappeared. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. So I went back to my original purchase. Actually, I think I went to Dropbox. I don't think I went to the original purchase. I went to my Dropbox. This was where I keep my patterns, and I re-downloaded it. And when I re-downloaded it, I changed the color of the white stitches. I know it's going to be white, but in the program, I changed it to this light gray. And as soon as I did that, what happened was now I could see where my stitches were. It doesn't change what I'm doing on the fabric. It doesn't change anything at all. If anything, it makes it easier because I can see what I've stitched and I can use what I've stitched on the pattern as well as on my fabric to place my next stitches. So if you are downloading this in and you're really struggling with the white, try downloading it again. When you go in, you can go to settings, and you can change those initial colors when you download them in. So just a little recommendation, if you're doing this project, by all means, you know, if you find you're struggling with something like that, you can go in, re-download it. I hadn't had very much stitch, so it wasn't a big deal. I just went back and highlighted all of them. It took me about 2 minutes after, because I didn't have much stitched. If I'd had a lot of stitch, then that would have been something else. But if you're new to it, try it and see if that makes it any easier. It made a world of difference for me, and I just thought I wanted to share, particularly for this pattern where everything would just disappear on my tablet. So, all right, enough of that. If you have any further questions, if you want a little more detail, by all means, just let me know in the comments, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to go over it. Again, explain in a little better detail. I could even do a little walkthrough if you need me to on how I did that, change that initial color. So, okay, so those are my projects that I got done these last 2 weeks. So, on to haul. You guys know, who have been with me for a while, I do a couple of different floss clubs. This first one, this one is the Floss Frenzy Weeks Die Works. They both come from the Fat Quarter Shop. One is this week's Die Works. These are the different colors that are in this pack. The way they do their clubs is they do colors that are kind of in color families. This one is called French Rose. So all of these are beautiful pinks, kind of colors that you would use for flowers, things like that. So absolutely gorgeous. For those of you who are new, the reason I love, if you've been here before, sorry, you're going to hear it again. The reason I love these two particular clubs from the Fat Quarter Shop is you get very like colors. So I am not one who changes my colors. I'm not very comfortable with that. If I do it, I like to have a good some options of what are my colors that I could swap out for this. And I love that these come in color families. I keep them and store them by their color family like they come, so that if I'm looking for a blue, I can go look and see, do any of these blues work, or these pinky colors for flowers, do any of those work for anything I have? That's why I do that. And that's why I particularly like this club. Fat Quarter Shop, my understanding is they still have spots available. If you go to their website, you can sign up, and I get 2 Color and Cotton and Weeks Die Works. I get both of those every month. So one of the other clubs that I have joined is Fortnite Fabrics. I love their fabrics. They have 5 clubs this year for fabric. I am part of 2 of those. I do the famous duos. That's what this one is. I'll show you their card. This is Rick and Morty. So they name them after famous duos, which I think is so fun. This year I'm doing 32 count, normally 28. I did all 28 last year. I'm doing 32 just to open up my stash a little bit. Love this. Purples and blues, absolutely fun. Great. Easy to use. So love that one. And I think that's a Fat Quarter. I get a fat half on the grays. They do a gray club. This month's is called HONK. And they always do a fun little, like they do a little play on words. They call this HONK, but it's because this one would be Gray Goose. And so HONK is the name they added to it. Again, I'm getting 32 even weave. This particular one is showing really, really gray on screen, but trust me, it is very purpley. It is a purple gray. Yeah, there you go. Purple gray. So real dark purples, lighter purples. It's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but it's not really gray. It's in the gray color family, but there's a lot of purple in this one. I'm not upset about it. I'm very happy, and it'll make a beautiful fabric for something else, for something to be stitched on. So don't get me wrong. I have one more fabric club that I joined. This is Mystic Fabrics. This is Misty on, she is on Facebook, and she has a club. This one is called Father Time. I get the fat half. Again, I moved up to a 32 again, just to expand what I had. This one, you guys, is gorgeous. I don't think I've ever gotten a 3 color from her. This has got these lovely kind of purpley grays, this real kind of peachy pinky color, that's and then this blue. It is fabulous. Cannot explain how much I love this. So I have no idea what I'm doing on this, but a great Halloween piece. A solid color, you know, if you did this with Ina's The Trick and the Treat and put black on that, it'd be gorgeous. You could do any kind of monochromatic color piece on that and let the fabric shine through. So love that one. Mystic Fabrics, I think she is full right now. You could probably contact her, and she may have a wait list. You can find her on Facebook. So by all means, reach out if you're at all interested, but that is a gorgeous piece of fabric. So you know, what do you do when you're stuck inside and you look around? And as you guys can tell, I have a lot of multicolored fabric, a lot of good fabric. What I don't have is a lot of your basics, a lot of white, creams, off-whites, antique whites, those kinds of things. I did have a good amount of that stash, and I've used it up over the years. We had a cross-stitch store here in town that closed, and I purchased all of theirs, but I've used it up. So I wanted to I was looking around Etsy and trying to find a place where I could get bigger cuts of good quality fabric. And I found a place, and I want to recommend it to you all. I found a shop called Yarn Stories, YARN STORIES. The owner is Kate. She is a lovely, lovely woman. She is in Lithuania, and she has a variety of stuff on her Etsy shop. There's crocheting, knitting, cross stitch, all kinds of stuff. She's got patterns, she's got equipment, she's got all the stuff. But what caught my attention was her fabric. She does have some colored fabric. That is there as well. I got sidelined by the very basic whites, off-whites, all that good stuff. So I ordered 4 good size pieces. Hers are numbered. They are not labeled by name. They're numbered, but she gives you lovely, very good detailed pictures, good descriptions. It's all Zweigart fabric. It is even. When I looked at it, when I got it, I measured it, it's all even. So, you know, all those things that I was worried about because I didn't know what I was going to get did not come. I will say it is not serged. That is fine. I am certainly able to do that myself. This particular piece is huge. I got a really wide piece that's not very long, but you know, sometimes you have those wider pieces that you need fabric for. So I ended up with 4 cuts of varying sizes. This was one of them. It's really nice. This is probably the brightest of the whites. It's not the bright white. I think she was out of the true white. And these I've left in the package, so I'm sorry about that. This is kind of a nice mushroomy color. Again, this is a smaller, wider piece. And then I got some bigger pieces. This one is 39, almost 40 inches by 55 inches. So this is a big piece. This is great for if you want to do your own full coverage and you don't want to use the gridded fabric. By all means, you could use this. So I got this one, which is just a little different than this one, but lovely, perfect, great neutrals. And I got this kind of creamy off-white. So I was thrilled. These came in record time. She is in Lithuania. I ordered and I figured, oh, it's probably going to be months, but I don't care because I'm not starting anything new. This is just building up my stash for next year. And I found, and she had most of it in stock. And so I thought, I'm just going to order it. Guys, it was a week from Lithuania. I had it here. Now, it probably was, you know, a little better shipping, a little expedited shipping, but that's okay. It's good quality fabric. She's got a good selection. You may even be able to contact her. She contacted me because she wanted to send this. She needed my telephone number to send this quickly to me. And so it needed to be part of the shipping process. So she communicates easily and quickly. We chatted back and forth a number of days. So I'm sure if you have a question, if you need a bigger piece, if you're doing one of those big, gigantic, and you're like, I need to order, you know, I think these were probably all pre-cut, but she may be able to have access to fabric that she could get in whatever size. I don't know, but by all means, reach out. Check out our website, Yarn Stories on Etsy. The owner's name is Kate. She's wonderful to work with. Don't hesitate to run over there and check out what she's got. It's great quality. It's all Zweigart, and it got here really super fast. So, all right. You know what? I told you guys that I was going to share what these two were on. I forgot. This one that I'm doing is a mushroom, just a mushroom that I had in my stash. 18 count, 2/2. Again, my go-to. My Red Maple Fairy, she is on, Red Maple Fairy. A lot of times I call her Autumn Fairy, so I get confused. She is on 18 count easy grid, and I do 2/1 on her. And I really like that as well. It's not too bulky. It is full, but it's not terribly bulky. I've not had much trouble with threads pulling through or anything like that. So, okay, I think that pretty well wraps it up. It's been a busy week. Thanks so much, guys, for stopping in. I think this next week of March, this next week of March, we are on spring break. Can you believe it? Spring break already. We tend to have spring break a little earlier here in Texas, and that's okay. I know my family up in Illinois and Iowa, their spring break is a few weeks off. So, but we are going to have spring break next week. We are not going anywhere. Obviously, my husband took the week off as well to spend the week with the kids. The big boys are not coming. They do not have spring break. So it'll just be the two little ones. They did not, colleges did not want those college kids to leave, get COVID, and come back to their schools if they haven't already had it. So we totally understand that. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything, but we're going to hang out here and we're going to enjoy our time together. I cannot guarantee you that there will be a Flosstube next week. It is my intention to, but we'll just wait and see. If I'm not here, don't panic, is I guess what I'm saying. But I'm hoping to get a lot of stitching in this week. There's no evening activities. All my kids are able to fend for themselves pretty much. I'll cook a meal here or there, but they can take care of breakfast and lunch by themselves. So I should be able to be here. I should have some great stitching progress, which is great. I need to start whittling away some of those challenges on Full Coverage Fanatics. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys, so much. I appreciate you, and keep stitching those big things. Bye.